morning and welcome to episode
It's 17.
17 of Wake Up West Orange. And Tim and Angie have survived that long with me. And you as viewers, if you're still with us, all five of you, then you have survived 16 episodes. And we're just glad that you're still viewing and kicking it with us. So, hey, we resurrected that. So, we kind of know the latest with Angie because she's back into the school rhythm, and everything's going very well there. Kids are doing good.
Yep.
Parents are good, and so forth. So, Tim, what is the latest with you?
Well, lately, Kayla had a pretty serious procedure done on her right ankle. They had to do some things with her Achilles tendon, which I'm not going to explain what they did. You don't really want to know, but it's going to be okay. It's about a 10-week process.
You've been taking care of her?
Well, actually, yeah, believe it or not. But yeah, there's not much in between. I mean, dishes and laundry and making sure she's okay, and medicine and all that kind of stuff. So
we're glad you're doing well, Kayla.
Yes, she's going to be fine. But we've had to go to a couple of doctor's appointments. We have one coming up just as a follow up, and traffic and stuff has been interesting because she's going to be fine, whatever. But the traffic drives me nuts because of school. I don't know if y'all are involved in this or not, but it's like every time I think it's a good time to leave, now there's school traffic. And we moved, about a year ago, so you think I've been prepared for this, but everything seems different this year. Everybody's crazy and erratic, and I've gone, everybody thinks there's maybe two different ways to go from our house to here, but there's actually 7 or so, because I've tried them all, and I'm even seeing if I can't maybe cut through people's yards just to kind of figure this out and maybe go a different way or something.
Yeah,
it's just...
I wouldn't do that one.
Well, I haven't yet.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, that's been what's going on, I guess.
So Kayla and traffic.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And the one you're more worried about is
It's the
traffic.
traffic.
Well, Kayla's got pain medicine, so
Yeah, traffic can be messy. We shared a story on Sunday that involved a mess. There was a lady that had spilled a whole bunch of stuff off of the shelves at a supermarket. And it created this big mess, and of course everybody, like people do, came to look and stare, and she was trying to clean it all up, and here you have one person who stops and helps her clean, and then you've got the store manager saying, no, you don't have to pay for this, we have insurance for this. It's a really uplifting story, and I think we've all been in those situations where we have that, oh no, everybody is looking at me, they see my mess, they see where I'm at, we've all had those times. I know I've had a lot of those times. One of the times that I always felt like people were watching me was when it was time to pick PE teams. Because, I'm just going to put it out there. I am not a sports kind of person. I was always the last one picked every single time, except for maybe one or two when it was my good friend who got chosen to be good, team captain, and they would, give me that little bit of a mercy save. But we've all had that time where people have been, just staring at us, and it feels like, I don't know, you can feel everybody pointing and laughing, even if they don't do it. You know that inside that's what they're doing. It's horrible.
Yeah. We have some of it we project on ourselves. I think if we feel embarrassed about something, and but we do have a culture where you kind of pile on, the pile on culture, sarcasm, criticism, those kinds of things. So can you think of a biblical story that kind of relates to that?
Well, yes, I can think of 2 or 3, but an odd one that maybe would be an example is the lady or the woman that was caught in adultery. There's a lot of stuff with that story, I think, that I've always had some presumptions about is, I don't know that they were lying that she was caught in this act, in this, what was going on in this relationship with this man, yet I wonder if they didn't keep tabs on her and like, did they pull her directly from where they caught her, or was she sort of held in the wings until Jesus came along and then they bring her out? You know, I've heard that kind of said before, which is not really what your point is, but it makes me think people can do that. They like continue to bring it up or really, you know, highlight the worst thing that you maybe did or that you've been involved in or that you've been around. And you know, that for her is, we don't know her name. We don't know anything about her except she's the woman that was caught in adultery, and it was that her label from then on.
Right.
I don't know if that's exactly the direction you were thinking, but that's the story that...
Yeah, she was known for that. I mean, in the area, and that's what was thrown in her face, and that's how she was presented to Jesus. And, you know, and sometimes our culture can be like that too, you know.
Well, it can, and you know, I think a lot of times you think that it's just going to be one or two people that are going to, you know, look at you and know this, but then we also have the tendency to, hey, did you hear about so-and-so? Oh, well, you're never going to believe what this person did last year. Or, oh, I've got this story. And we have this need to build ourselves up, I think, sometimes by tearing each other down. And that's certainly not what Jesus is about.
The sad thing about that story was it was the religious leaders.
Right. Yeah, the very people that should have done what Jesus did. And maybe that's not what her label was from that point on. Maybe she never let that happen again. And maybe she became someone in their community that had a complete 180 in her life, all because, you know, one person said, well, yeah, I don't think anybody here's saying we're going to try to find you guilty or not guilty. You did it, and you know you did it, but how about let's try something different now, you know, and maybe she became that lady that was the lady that was caught in adultery but never was again. I don't know.
Well, and I think it's powerful when you have worn a label or you have had a history of, you know, I struggled with this, but now look at how I've changed. You have that option and that, I don't know, a lot of time it's a passion to go and to talk with people that are maybe in that same situation. And God, you know, transforms us and uses us to help those people that are right back where we were because we know what it's like and we've been there.
Yeah, that really fires me up. I mean, that's why I love ministry so much, is just when you can see somebody and they were in despair, they were lost, they were, you know, just in confusion, whatever the negative descriptions you could put in it, addicted, weary, you know, and then to see the change, you know, to see God working that miracle and to see the peace and just the 180.
Yeah.
It's definitely what Scripture's all about and what God wants to do, you know, for each of us. You know, the other story we referenced at the end was then about the first purchase ever on eBay.
Oh yeah. I know you. If you have seen the service or whatever from just a couple days ago, Brian referenced this as well. The very first thing, I don't know, I read this somewhere and was talking to Brian about it, and the very first thing bought on eBay was a broken laser pointer, and it was bought on purpose. It wasn't a mistake. They didn't trick this person. They thought they were getting a good one. He intentionally bought a broken laser pointer. He had been working on some at his house and couldn't seem to figure out something about it. And so he bought this intentionally to see if he couldn't fix it. And I love that. I don't know why I love that story so much, but I think, you know, God did that with me. I think he does that with everybody, that he says, you know, there's some broken parts here, but we can fix that. That's kind of what he's about. So.
Yeah. And I see we have time here, so why don't we bring out the drinks?
You think?
Yeah, bring the drinks out. I got one here. Tim, explain the
Well,
doing here, because there's going to be a point to this that builds on that. So.
okay. Well, I have been trying to eat better and do some other things, and I've tried all that I can come across, these sparkling water drinks. That's the best way I can explain it. There's all these different brands. There's AHA, there's LaCroix, there's all these different brands, and I don't like any of them. They just taste weird to me. Yet, I found out about this one that has a cola flavor. It tastes supposedly kind of like Diet Coke. That's this one that you have, Brian. Brian has not tried it yet, and so he's going to, and he's going to love it. I'm pretty sure
Kind of
about
goes
that.
with the taste and see the Lord is good. We got
It
one
does.
more
Maybe,
Sunday.
It ties right in.
maybe. Angie has just tried it, and it's sweetened with an artificial sweetener, so it's not. It's no sugar, no calorie. This is not a sponsor of ours, by the way. But
The royalty checks are not coming in.
yeah, exactly. So Brian's trying this one, and I think it tastes a lot like a Diet Coke, a little sweeter maybe.
Makes me think of RC Cola.
Kind of RC Cola. I'm trying for the first time. I bought this today. This is ginger ale, and it's going to go all over the table. So I'm going to try ginger ale. This is either Zavia or Zevia. I don't know. Get one today. I don't know how you pronounce the name of it, but I'm going to. It tastes like diet ginger ale. So, and that might gross some people out. I have no idea.
So it's kind of an imitation.
It is an imitation. It is a substitute. First of all, they're clear. I don't know if you could tell that, but like the cola, if you pour it or whatever, they're clear. So there's many things about it that are not like the original genuine article. That's kind of important, I think, to the point that Brian's probably going to make. Is this is not real. It has the flavor of a certain other kind of drink. And Diet Coke would probably be that drink, which I believe is an artificial substitute for real Coke, which is actually better, but not good for you at all. So your point.
Yeah, so Tim brought these in today, and I got to thinking, I knew we were going to talk about more on those stories, is, so which one's worse, to make a mess like the lady with the shelf, it was an accident, or, to be a broken pen, where at least like you acknowledge, yeah, I just made a mess there, or yes, I'm broken, or to be an imitation, to act like you're something you're not, to act like, there's not a mess on the floor, to act like you're not broken when you are. So, I think we realize we're called to be authentic. God already knows who we are. He knows the best about us, which is what we want everybody to know about us, of course. But he knows the weak points and the broken places and the hurts and the disappointments. And I'm not going to start preaching, but
Have y'all ever seen or heard about the show Intervention? Are you familiar with that show at all? It comes on, I think, A&E. I've seen a few episodes, and you may have as well. The premise, very quickly, the premise is someone is addicted to a substance, some kind of drug or alcohol, a substance that they don't need, but they think they need. Their body now has to have it. And they are tearing their family apart in all the ways that you can do if you have an addiction like that. And then they are brought into a meeting that the family has prepared for, if that's even a way to say that. And they all tell them things like, I love you, but what you're doing is killing you. It's killing me. If you don't get this help that is going to be provided to you, I'm going to have to cut you off. I'll give you no more money. You can't come into my house anymore. All these different things that sound horrible, but what's going on is they're saying, I know the best of you is in there. And you're not letting this happen. And so unless you're going to accept the very thing you need, I can't be a part of you ruining your life anymore. And that's kind of the premise. And normally, 90% of the time, they tend to do well. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes the drug, is too strong or whatever, or the temptation to take it. But I think that's what Jesus did every time with the people he encountered. It was like an intervention in a way. And sometimes, like the rich young ruler, he said, well, here's what it's going to take. And the guy was like, I'm not going to do it. And he left, and he gave him an option, and he took the other one. But 90% of the time, if not more, people accepted the help and changed. So.
Yeah, and that's why love's hard. I mean, love is not enabling, just, just helping on something. Love is intervening, and love is speaking hard truth. Again, from a place of love.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right motive, and that's why usually family members are able to do that with somebody successfully, because they know, okay, this is my family, and they are seeing the best and have my genuine interest, at heart. So, can you tie a bow on that, Angie, to wrap this one up?
So it sounds like what we're saying is, okay, we want to make sure that we are being true to ourselves and saying, this is where I'm at, and not trying to sweep that mess under the rug. We do acknowledge that the mess is there, but if we see somebody else that has a mess, then instead of pointing and saying, oh my goodness, look at this mess, we might stop and help them clean it up, because that's what God has done for us.
Amen.
That was good. That wasn't even planned. Everything else was.
Well, that's kind of what I do in my other job.
Yeah,
Let's sum it all up.
I think that's great.
It is good.
Thank y'all very much for joining us. Thank y'all. I like doing this as often as we can. Horrible ending. We're probably going to have to go back and do that.
See ya.